What is up, y'all? Will here at Schedulefly, and this is the first of a little mini series that we were very fortunate to be able to do with the folks at Crafted Hospitality in New York City. This is Greg Tomicich, and Greg is the director of operations for the group. This is the first of four episodes that we had the opportunity to record back to back to back to back. I was supposed to be there in New York in person, and I was able to, or had to, cancel my trip last minute, so I was able to do this via Zoom with these folks. And this podcast audience is better off for it because this is a great series from some folks that run some incredible restaurants, one of the most well-known and beloved restaurant groups in the country, and feel very fortunate to have had this opportunity. So we're going to dive right in here and listen to Greg and his story and his philosophies, and then three more episodes to follow in the coming days. But before we dive in here, a word from our sponsor, Pop Menu. Pop Menu is also a partner of ours at Schedulefly, and we have a lot of happy mutual customers, and for good reason. Pop Menu is all about making your day easier and your sales bigger. It will simplify your marketing operations, bring in more guests, and capture customer data for personalized remarketing to keep them coming back. With one super simple to use platform that integrates with most point of sales like Toast and Square and a number of others, Pop Menu starts with a beautifully designed, easy to update, interactive menu that transforms the guest experience online. It includes a brand new website that's optimized for search engines like Google for no additional cost, automated digital marketing, online ordering and waitlisting, and you'll never miss another call with their AI answering solution that costs as little as 47 cents an hour, plus so much more. There's a link to Pop Menu in the show notes. My 2 cents is that the mutual customers that we have with Schedulefly and Pop Menu that I've spoken to have consistently said great product, great customer service, and great results. So check them out. Link in the show notes, and check out this episode. Greg Tomicich, Director of Operations, Crafted Hospitality, New York City. More episodes coming soon. Thank you all for listening. See ya.
Can you hear me well?
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm really good. I'm really good, Greg. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Well, I want to respect your time. And I know we have another one here, 11:30. So we'll dive right in. Go ahead and just introduce yourself real quick, Greg.
Sure. Name's Greg Tomicich, Director of Operations for Crafted Hospitality. We are a restaurant group, mainly based in New York City. Currently have 4 restaurants in New York, 1 in Los Angeles, and we manage 2 in Las Vegas.
Awesome. And you've been in hospitality since you were young. You grew up in your family had a restaurant, is that right?
Yeah, my dad came to this country from, at the time was Yugoslavia, now it's Croatia, but he came to this country. He worked as a waiter, saved up some money, opened up his first business in Astoria, Queens. I was cleaning the bar and doing recycling since I was like 10, 11 years old, and just went forward from there.
So did you have a passion for it early on, or for hospitality, or is it just something you did because your dad needed you to do it and you were working? And
Yeah,
when was it that you realized that you really loved it?
so I guess that's a longer answer. My dad worked a lot. I mean, he worked 6 nights a week, sometimes 7. I didn't see him much growing up at all. So whenever I had that Saturday that I could spend with him, I would go with him early in the morning to the restaurant, and I would do odd jobs here and there, and just to spend some time with him. When he opened his second restaurant, I was a little bit older, 16, 17, 18 years old. Was going to college here in downtown Manhattan and working nights there. So it was more of, and at that time, it was a while back, it was mostly a cash business. So you would leave at the end of the night with cash tips. And, at that age, wow, that was like a pot of gold. Um, I guess my passion started for it the more I got involved there. Um, yeah, it definitely wasn't. It definitely I was not passionate about it in the beginning. A lot of hard work.
It is a lot of hard work. Yet here you are all these years later, and different role, but still a lot of hard work. Director of operations there. You got a lot of things on your plate. What is sort of the underpinnings of like what you love about hospitality?
Uh, the camaraderie for one, working with the staff and watching people grow into larger roles, watching people that have the same amount of dedication and passion towards this industry. Um, we attract a lot of different people in the hospitality industry, and a lot of them turn it into careers, just like I have. It's not something that you just do on the weekends. It's something that you become passionate about and you immerse yourself in. And it's a never-ending learning process. I mean, every single day there's something different that you learn, not just about um, food or wine and beverage. Just learn about people. So yeah, it's quite rewarding.
It's an industry where it doesn't really matter where you came from, what your education is, what the color of your skin is, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic background. What I love so much about the industry is that if you're willing to, whoever you are, if you're willing to work for a team and help your team and create a great experience for your guests, sky's the limit.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And I think at what it teaches you and just like especially nowadays, right? With people, with their working from home, this office life is different now than it was years ago. I think working in hospitality enables you to hone in your social skills, which I think a lot of that is missing nowadays. Just that connection with another human being. And no offense to what we're doing now, but nothing on a Zoom. It's an actual human being sitting across from you, and you interact and socialize, and it teaches you about humanity. My son went to work for one of our restaurants as his first job ever. 17 years old. He went to work as a busboy, and we had a summer pop-up beer garden. And I tell this story often because number one, I'm proud of him. He's my son, but it's a life lesson, right? So here comes this young man, and he's first job ever, and he's working, and he's having a hard time, and he's getting told what he's doing wrong. And he comes home to me that night and says, "You know what? I'm not going back." He says, "They're rude, they're nasty, they're aggressive." And I looked at him and I said, "Hey, that guy to the right and to the left of you, you know what they're doing with their paycheck? Your paycheck, what are you gonna do? Buy a pair of sneakers? Um, they're feeding a family of four. So yeah, they're giving you a hard time because everything that you do affects their paycheck. So yeah, you're right. They're giving you a hard time. Well, by the end, obviously he didn't quit. He's thick-headed and stubborn like his dad. So he put his head down. He worked really hard and he learned as best as he could, and he kept his mouth shut. And by the end of that summer, he walked from the restaurant to the subway in tears, proud of himself and proud of the different people that he met during that summer, working alongside of them and seeing, how life is unique and different towards every individual that walks through that door.
What a great story about learning a sense of perspective and understanding a situation from somebody else's perspective. Man, that's awesome. What a God, the amount he matured that summer. And
without a doubt. Yeah, he's come back. He's in college now, and he comes back every summer, and he spends the whole summer working and he's worked his way up to a server now. And at one point, he felt very passionate about the industry, and he said, "Dad, I think I'm going to follow in your footsteps." And I begged him not to. It's so rewarding, but like um, my wife put it, she's like, I'm a restaurant widow. Every holiday, every weekend, by myself with the kids, attending family functions while you're working. So, I've been in this industry since I'm 17. I'm 53 now, and even though I still work tremendously hard, I have my weekends home. So, took a while to get there, though.
Good for you. Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people I talk to would share that sentiment. They love it. They've been doing it their whole life. It's been very rewarding. They couldn't imagine doing anything else. And then they say, but don't don't do it. Which is interesting. I mean, it's I feel like, for the right person, it takes the right person, I guess, is what it is. It really does. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for a lot of people. And I guess it naturally weeds out those people over time. My daughter actually is leaving in a little bit to go to her job. And she works in a restaurant here. And I don't think it's for her. Like, I mean, I've wanted all my kids to work in restaurants for all the reasons we've talked about. I think you learn so much about all these people from different walks of life, and you do have a much fonder appreciation of what it means to be a part of a team. You have to wear so many hats and have calm and patience in the midst of just a crazy environment where anything can happen at any time. A busy night when everything's just popping and the place is just going off. It's so hard to just stay calm and smile and make your guests feel happy. I think it's an amazing set of skills you learn in a restaurant, but if it's not something you're really wanting to lean into, it's tough. It's a grind. I think she's having a hard time with it.
Yeah, I can understand and relate for sure. But look, it comes down to a balance of life, right? Work-life balance. I think that's very important, especially nowadays. I think we all learned a valuable lesson these last couple of years. It's not only about work, and you have to have that balance to a certain extent. But especially as a server in this industry, you get back what you put in. So if you're working 4 days a week and only 3.5 shifts, how do you sustain yourself financially? It can be a challenge. So yeah, I understand it. But again, the rewards are great. I don't think I would have changed anything in my past. I'm very fulfilled.
Tell me about there's a topic that I'm hearing more and more folks interested in talking about in the last year or two on the heels of COVID, which is mental health. And it's becoming a more prominent topic, I think, in your industry, and which is a good thing. It's an important topic. The industry has been through so many years of sort of this work hard, play hard mentality. And I think that a lot of folks are starting to try to find ways to enable good balance and make sure that people are taking care of their mental health. Are you guys seeing that, Greg?
Yeah, I think that's a trend we're seeing. A lot of the younger generation, they're smarter than we were. I mean, when I was working, you just put your head down and you shut up and you worked your 16-hour days and you came back the next morning at 8 a.m. and that's what you just did because that's what it was supposed to be. So now we're definitely seeing a trend where people that can, yeah, prefer to work 4 days a week as opposed to 5 and 6 and pick up those extra shifts, and that's a good thing. I really do. I think the pendulum swing for our industry maybe leaned a little too much. It needs to autocorrect at some point, but I think it was necessary. It's one of the great things working for Chef Colicchio. He makes it easy for you to prioritize your family first. if there's an issue with one of our management team or one of our servers or one of our cooks, and he finds a way, we find a way to support that individual, to get them the time they need with their family, without sacrificing too much financially. At the end of the day, we have a business to run, and yes, we need to be profitable in order for people to have jobs. But he is empathetic and understands what it means to raise a family in this industry. So he's a great company to work for.
What do you focus on mostly these days, Greg?
Me personally, here at work, we're looking at expansion. We have opportunities, not just in New York City, but outside of the city. And we're looking for partners at this point. We're no longer looking for your traditional leased space. We found out that that does not work well in times of trouble, the pandemic, without our partners that we had. And when I mean partners, these are the landlords, the people who own those buildings. If there was flexibility, our restaurants stayed open during that time period. If there was no flexibility, and we understand, people have bills to pay as well, the restaurants shuttered. So now what we're looking for is more of a partnership with these people. So we both have skin in the game. And if something does hit the fan, we're both equally concerned, as opposed to just one party, meaning the restaurant being concerned with how they're going to get through it. But we're opening up in Washington, D.C. We're looking at some changes out in Los Angeles, reinventing craft out in Century City. So we're very excited about that. And there's some opportunities here in the city as well.
In the cities you're in, it's pretty hard to own the real estate, I guess. So you have to.
It's very difficult. Manhattan, especially.
So you've changed how you approach that now. You're much more discerning, and probably, is it that you do more due diligence and just understand the way they operate better, or what's changing about how you find landlords now?
Well, for us, one of the biggest things is percentage rent, right? So based on revenue, instead of having a flat base rent, we're looking at partners that would be flexible with us, have a lower base rent, and then a percentage of sales. So in those times of struggle, we're not the only ones bearing that burden or bearing it alone. It's a partner, and which we found was, like I said, it was a necessity during the last couple of years. Our partners that were flexible with us, we are still here and we're continuing, and it's great relationships. But when it's one-sided and inflexible, that's not something that we're interested in being a part of.
Is that a more common scenario nowadays out of COVID, where you're doing a base plus % of revenue, or are you guys ahead of the curve with that?
Look, well, I can only speak to what we're doing here. To be honest with you, we are blessed because of our owner's exposure. So that this gives us, I think, more of an opportunity to find and be flexible and negotiate when it comes to things like this. The mom and pop place, I don't know. I can't imagine the way New York City real estate is going. Commercial and office buildings, they're not, they're a little bit more vacant than they used to be. So some people are having a hard time coming back. The city is back for sure. But with this new hybrid office home work environment, I don't think that's going away anytime soon. So you see where Midtown was, and downtown were bustling at 1 o'clock for lunches and, just hordes of people in the street. You don't see that anymore. So there has to be some flexibility. And I can honestly say, these bigger landlords, they see that and they understand that.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and they also just have to have you have to find the right ones that that have the financial flexibility and the ability to plan properly for that. They've got a debt payment to make on the property, I guess. So
Exactly.
yeah, but that's good. I mean, you want to be slow and discerning and wind up with somebody that's in it, you know, for a long term. So you're going to DC. Is that will be your first place in DC?
That will be our first in DC. Yeah, we're very excited about that.
Which concept?
It is, as Chef puts it, it's not a concept. It's he's going to cook some food. However, it will be a new concept. It's not one of our current restaurants. He has an idea based on the location and how the property itself is built out. It's going to be very similar to, I think, I could be confident saying this. What we did at Colicchio and Sons over on the west side. Colicchio and Sons is this beautiful restaurant, floor to ceiling windows, but the space was naturally separated by the bar. So there was the bar room, which was in front, or the tap room, what we called it, and then the back room was Colicchio and Sons. So it was almost two restaurant concepts in one. The front or the tap room was a little bit more approachable. We would serve things like, you know, burgers and we even had gourmet pizzas. There was a pizza oven there that was spectacular. And then the back portion was more fine dining, tasting menus type of thing. So right now, that's the direction we're in.
What you joined Colicchio and Sons in like 2015, I think I read. Why did you decide to move over to this group?
Yeah, 2015. I moved. I was going to be 8 years. Wow. I took the role of general manager of Colicchio and Sons. A short while after that, was promoted to director of restaurants, and then about a year and a half now, I've been director of operations. Look, the city's big, but it's not. It's our industry is very intertwined. Craft's reputation is what attracted me to them.
Yeah.
And yes, I was looking for a balance at that point. You know, we work hard, but I needed to start going to family functions with my wife on the weekends. I could only go so far.
I meant to ask this about going to DC. How do you pick a new city like that? Like you had Los Angeles, now DC. What is it is it just a personal reasons that you know Chef wants to be there, or do you do a lot of demographic studies, or how do y'all make those decisions?
Well, I mean, a lot of these opportunities are sort of given to us, and then we kind of sift through them and see if this is something that we'd be interested in. Obviously, as I mentioned before, the people that we're partnering with, it's very important to make sure that they have the same values and understanding of our industry. Very important. And then the next part comes the financial aspect of it. You know, Chef's been involved in Washington with quite a few projects that he did. So he's very comfortable down in Washington, D.C. And the combination of our partners there and the location and I guess the financial deal is what drew us there.
Are y'all are we getting back to where it's not quite as challenging to find good people to come work, or is it I'm curious what it's like in New York in particular right now?
Yeah, no, we're still not where we used to be. And you know, to be honest, Will, I don't think we're ever going to get back to that. You know, the 2 years of inconsistency here in New York City and the government mandated closures, it's a very expensive city to live in. So
Yeah.
we lost a lot of people to other industries as well as to other states. You know, we have people that just went to, I don't know, Florida, let's say, for example. They never shut down. They were open. You were able to maintain a lifestyle there. Whereas here, if you miss 2 paychecks, you're not sure how you're going to pay your rent.
Yeah.
It's quite expensive to live here. So I don't, and then once you're in sunny Florida and you're spending your days off on the beach, maybe coming back and riding the 7 train is not so appealing as it once was. So we I don't know if we'll ever get back there, but what's happening now is you have to take on staff with lesser experience, but as a company, your hope is that you're able to mentor and provide a workplace that's attractive and hold on and retain these younger, I guess, less experienced staff, and then and teach and grow with them.
Yeah, give them opportunities to grow within the organization, which y'all do a great job of. And as an organization grows, it provides more of those opportunities, which is great. Well, I know I've got just a few minutes. We got another teammate of yours here to come on an episode. So before we wrap this up, is there anything else on your mind, or anything that you think is an important topic to talk about right now in hospitality?
No, I just want to thank you, Will. Honestly, nothing against my brother, love him to death, but you checked in on me and our team more than my brother did during those times. You meant a lot. Just reaching out and checking in every once in a while, it was greatly appreciated. And I'm forever grateful for you.
Oh man. Well, thank you. That is something that I learned from serving you and your peers in this industry. I had a job as a salsa maker in a restaurant one summer as a busboy, but I never was really dialed in hospitality. I mean, Wes wrote our software and he used to make the schedule. He saw the need for this. So I came into this and I've learned so much. It's why I love doing this podcast so much. I learned so much from y'all about, thinking about others and caring about others. And so it's occurred to me, like, we serve people that provide great hospitality, but we have this software and we don't get to, that's why I was so bummed I couldn't come up there this week, but we don't get to meet our customers, and spend time with them the way y'all do. But, it's always been clear to me that we should provide that same care and hospitality in any way that we can to the people we serve, because that's what y'all do for your customers and for us as a customer. I love great hospitality. And so I've learned so much from y'all, and it's changed the way I operate. I mean, truly, the industry has done a lot for me, even though I'm not working in it. Just serving it has taught me a ton, man. Truly.
Well, it's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for what you do. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Absolutely. All right. And we'll wrap this up. I got another one here in a couple of minutes, so we'll get that one going. And I thank you for the opportunity. I wish I were there. I'm so glad that we do have a technology like this to, enable us to still do this today. But when I do get there at some point, I'm going to come see you for sure.
But look forward to it. Will, be well.
See you, Greg. Thanks.